What's going on, y'all? Happy Friday evening. Hope you are all enjoying your weekend. Quick pop in here talking about connection because it's something that I noticed 2 times today and I want to share with you guys. And for all y'all living in Vancouver, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. But it's not just Vancouver, it's a lot of different areas. And I want to crack open the egg of clickiness that we deal with in Vancouver and a lot of cities and a lot of different areas, or at least what we hear about. So today on 2 different occasions, one in the elevator at my building and another one when I popped into the grocery store at lunch. Both random occasions, I just happened to, there was someone there and I forget anyways, aside from that, but I started a conversation with 2 different people, one in the elevator and one at the grocery store. Both people originally, the guy in the elevator who I talked to had headphones in, but then I started talking to him and he pulled his headphones out and we started chatting, and in the grocery store as well. Point being, neither of these people looked like they were in a position where they wanted to have a conversation with anyone or that they were ready to. Now, as soon as I started talking to them and they realized that I wasn't a cray-cray or whatever they call them these days, they completely shifted and pretty much got to a point where I had to try and kind of sneak away from the conversation because it actually went on for too long. And what I kind of got out of the conversations were, there was definitely a feeling of them really wanting to genuinely connect, and almost like they were, I guess, I don't know how to say it, but it was almost like it was refreshing to them that they were able to have a conversation with someone, and like they almost needed it in a sense. And hadn't I have opened up the conversation and kind of really put myself in a position to talk to them, you never really would have thought that, just by the way that they kind of were. But as soon as we started talking, they totally opened up, and it was almost like they really needed to have that conversation, or it was really refreshing to them to talk to almost a stranger in that sense. So I want to talk about how, because we all talk about, including myself, how the word clicky is such a word that's used here in Vancouver, about how people have a very hard time making friends, and I can't make friends, and no one wants to talk to you, and this and that. And if you're one of the person who says these things, and I've said them many times, I ask you this: are you talking to anyone? Or are you instigating any of those relationships? Because sure, it's very easy to call the city in that way, but if you're just expecting other people to come up and talk to you, then it's not really fair in that sense. Now, I could understand if you go and try to talk to people and they completely shut you down, or they completely ignore you, which sometimes with language barriers that does happen as well, but it's very rare. So I ask that you try this. If you are one of these people who feel that way, talk to a couple strangers and just hit them up on the street wherever you are, and see what happens, because I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. And a lot of these people who we think are cliquey and who don't want to have conversations are actually in dire need of having connection and getting that connection from people in the city. And a lot of them think the same way as you, but maybe they're too shy to instigate that conversation. So I think this is really important for a lot of people. There's a lot of loneliness these days. We can go on about the social media stuff, but with that, with all the dating apps, with technology in general, there's such a loss of connection, and it really will make you a happier person very quickly. And maybe it's a good time to enlarge your circle of influence and your group of friends. Maybe it's time to meet some new people. And on the flip side of the coin of it being cliquey, because it's a cliquey place, it's extremely easy to meet new people because there's a lot of people, there's a lot of amazing and interesting people, especially here in Vancouver, who don't know a lot of people. And it's a great opportunity. It's very easy to meet new friends. It's just a matter of breaking that initial barrier, clickiness barrier, and being the person to reach out. And I think very quickly you'll realize that, you know, there are a lot of people who do want to chat, and there's a lot of good opportunities to kind of make these new friends. Also, it's great for people who want to build your confidence, that, you know, reaching out and just talking to strangers is a great way to do that. I hear a lot of people talk about how they want to, you know, Vancouver is shitty, and I'm just using Vancouver, but, you know, wherever you are in the world listening to this, you know, I'm sure this applies to many different cities, but just using Vancouver as an example. But, you know, a lot of people I hear will say Vancouver is a shitty place because there's no connection, and, you know, we don't have that, which you do get that feeling sometimes. But moving to another place is not necessarily the answer. And I've learned somewhere, I can't remember where it is now, but you have to learn how to be happy with where you are, rather than keep moving around the world or to different cities trying to find happiness, because it's always within you. So if you're one of these people, it's a great opportunity that you kind of change your perspective of how you look at the city and the connections around you, and start building these new relationships. If you're feeling lonely, if you're one of these people, just talk to someone, and very quickly, if you try to build that relationship, it's going to happen. So just a cool realization today. Want to share with you guys. Try it out. Talk to some people. Have fun with it. They don't bite. Some of them probably will, so be careful who you do talk to. And I'll talk to you later. Peace.